Hi everyone, welcome to Handmade Beauty Box Live. And for those of you watching on Periscope, hello to you as well. I'm happy to have you join me today. Right now, I'm going to talk about this month's box. In your Handmade Beauty Box this month, you received avocado butter, fractionated coconut oil, sweet almond oil, yellow beeswax, and grapefruit essential oil. In addition to that, you also got your adorable labels and 4 jars, as well as easy to follow color instructions. I hope you're able to follow along with these color instructions at home as I'm doing this, or we'll have this video up on the Handmade Beauty Box blog in the next few days so that you can rewind and catch any parts you may have missed. Let's go ahead and get started making our bombs. But before we do that, I want to show you how we double bag this avocado butter. Obviously, it's really hot right now in so many parts of the United States. So it may have arrived a little bit melty when it got to you, or maybe fully melted. Not to worry, we double bagged it just for that reason. So go ahead and pop this into your refrigerator, and it's gonna harden up within just about 15 to 20 minutes. There's no damage to it having melted down. So you're good to go there. To open this up, all you need to do is take a scissors and clip off the top little guy and unroll the bag. Unroll the bag, and then you'll notice that it's in there nice and tight. Again, we really wanted this to get to you safely. And then when you're thinking about what you want to melt it in, all you need to do is get a small container. The reason you don't want a large container, and I have a photo of this, when you do larger containers with headspace like this, check out what happens. Courtney, can you bring up that photo? Use an appropriately sized container.
Show that again. Yeah. Sorry, we were still on the
So if you're using, like if you're just on like 4 or 8 ounces and you melt this in the microwave for say 2 to 4 minutes, all of this up here gets superheated and your glass container can explode. I've actually seen it happen, as you just saw on screen, and that picture's up at the soapqueen.com blog. All you have to look for is exploding Pyrex. So, Courtney, should I be using the small to melt it or this size?
medium.
Medium size, okay. Because there's a large amount of oils, that we're gonna go ahead and use the medium sized container for this. So take your avocado butter and just turn it inside out, and that way it'll nicely slip into your glass for you. And you won't even get your hands dirty. Yay!
And Marie, we have one question.
One question already.
It's like there wasn't any sound when we showed that photo of the microwave and the glass explosion.
Oh, no sound.
Will you just show those 2 Pyrexes again?
Absolutely. So there wasn't any sound when we were showing the photo. Sad. Okay, well, let me review that again then. When you're doing some sort of, any sort of microwaving in glass containers in the microwave, if you have a very small amount of product in your glass container, what happens is the very top part of this gets really super hot and it can explode in the microwave. This is really rare. I've only had it happen once in literally 18 years of crafting, but I don't want that to happen to you. So when you're making this recipe, make sure you're choosing an appropriately sized container. In this case, I'm gonna be using this kind of medium 4-cup Pyrex container, but make sure whatever you're doing is a heat-safe glass container, because cleaning up is also a lot easier when you're using glass. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. I've got my avocado butter in there, and this is 6 ounces of avocado butter. I'm gonna add all the yellow beeswax. One of the nice things, and let me smell this actually. It smells so wonderful and just smoky. One of the nice things about ordering a Handmade Beauty Box is that all of the ingredients are fully pre-measured out for you, so you really don't have to do any sort of measuring and weighing yourself, which is great. So, fractionated coconut oil, and just gonna go ahead and pour that right into.
So that leads to our first question on Periscope. Is it easy, and how much is it?
Hello, Periscope viewer. your question was, is this easy and how much is it? So yes, I do think the Handmade Beauty boxes are easy. They're a beginner do-it-yourself subscription box, and you can subscribe at handmadebeautybox.com for just $30 a month, and shipping is included in that price. And they're all do-it-yourself beauty projects, and past months have included really fun things like bath fizzies and soap, and we have some really great plans coming up as well. So add your sweet almond oil, all of it, into your container, and you'll notice that at this point we have just about 2 full cups. You can see that this month's kit is very generously sized and half full. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this over to the microwave, and I'm going to microwave it in 1-minute increments. So taking this over to my Soap Queen microwave, I'm going to microwave this for just 1 minute. And while I'm doing that, I wanted to talk to you guys about the difference between fragrance oils and essential oils. If you're a new or beginning crafter, you may not know what that difference is. So fragrance oils are products that are created in a lab with either synthetic or natural aroma chemicals. Fragrance oils can contain essential oils. Fragrance oils are never considered all natural though, because they are synthetic aroma chemicals mixed with natural aroma chemicals. What this means is that you can get fragrances not otherwise found in nature, stuff like cherries or strawberries. Yes, you can find those fragrances in nature, but you can't extract oil from them. Essential oils are considered all natural, and they use usually the leaves or the petals or the bark of a plant, and oil is extracted from those natural substances. That's why most of the fruit products and a lot of the flowers that have tiny little petals don't have corresponding essential oils. Essential oils are considered all natural. It's totally a personal preference on which you choose to use in your product, but this month's project did come with grapefruit essential oil, which is considered 100% natural, though not lip safe, which we'll talk about in just a minute. So I'm going to check what's going on in the microwave. So I'm going to pull this out so you guys can see. We have a little bit of melting going on with the avocado butter, which is great. My beeswax dough, which has the most high melt point, is definitely not melted at all. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back in. Notice I stirred it fully though. I want to make sure that that hot core temperature that happens in the microwave, that is in the very middle of my mixture, gets fully dispersed throughout the entire mixture. So back in the microwave for a 30-second burst. Now that we're getting closer, I don't want to overcook my oils, because overcooked oils can smell bad, and man, they can get really hot really fast. And we don't want to, say, melt these super high melt point containers because we went a little bit aggressive on that oil. So back to essential oils. The reason that essential oils can get so expensive is because it takes a lot of plant essence to get many of the different essential oils. For example, did you know that it takes over 2,200 pounds of rose petals just to get 16 ounces or 1 pound of rose essential oil? Grapefruit essential oil, this particular one, is cold pressed from grapefruit rinds. That's right, it actually comes from when you peel the grapefruit, and it smells so uplifting and just really fresh and wonderful. I'm gonna go ahead and check that mixture that's in the microwave right now, and you'll notice that everything is fully melted in it, but that beeswax is still not all the way melted. Gonna give it a good stir to make sure my heat is fully dispersed throughout the entire mixture, and then gonna put it all back in the microwave just for another 30 seconds. And I'm betting another 30 seconds will do it. One of the interesting things with citrus essential oils is many of them are considered something called a photosensitizer. So what that means is citrus essential oils such as orange and grapefruit can exacerbate or enhance what the sun does on your skin. Meaning, if you're prone to burning and you put grapefruit essential oil on your lips and you go outside in the sun, well, you know what? It's gonna help that sun burn your lips. So because of that, we don't recommend using this particular balm as a lip product, even though it's gonna smell good. And yeah, you do eat grapefruit all the time, it can exacerbate the action of the sun. So if you did wanna make a ginormous thing of lip balm, make sure you leave that grapefruit essential oil out of that 4-ounce container that you're gonna make your lip balm in. So we didn't quite get fully melted here, so I'm gonna go ahead and just do another 30 seconds. Looks like I'm getting really close. I'm gonna mix in this beeswax, and I can see that it's really doing a great job getting fully mixed in. I'm just gonna do another, maybe, I don't even know if I'm gonna need to do another 15, I'm gonna do another 15 seconds just to make sure I get everything fully melted in. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna uncap all of my containers to make sure that I am ready to go. And then...
So we have another question that came in.
Oh, another question. Great.
Does this balm need a preservative?
Does this balm need a preservative? That is a great question. So if you do any sort of cosmetic manufacturing or well-used cosmetics, you know that you see preservatives in those ingredients lists. The reason those preservatives are there are to protect against mold and bacterial contamination. They're usually used at 1% or less, but they are only needed when you have water in the product, meaning mold and bacterial contamination don't grow in an anaerobic or oil and wax-based environment. So this particular project does not need a preservative. However, if we were making a traditional lotion, say adding water and some emulsifying wax to this, we would need to use a preservative. Great question. Now that this is fully melted, I am just going to check to see the consistency. So Courtney, do we have some frozen spoons to check the consistency? This is a little trick I like to do. So now of course I designed this recipe for you. It's gonna work and it's gonna be perfect. But if you like a slightly harder balm, you may wish to experiment a little bit and use a little bit less fractionated coconut oil or a little less of the sweet almond oil. Or maybe like a softer balm and you're gonna add some olive oil to make this balm a little softer. If you do any customizing, the way to check the consistency of your balm right away is to get a frozen spoon, meaning put this in the freezer a couple hours before your project. Just dip this in and voila, it freezes right away. So now I can check the consistency of this balm and see how it looks. So this melts so easily on my hand. It feels moisturizing and smooth. I love this consistency, but if you want to play around at home and make it softer or harder, this frozen spoon trick is really important so that you make sure you get a perfect balm texture every single time. So I love this consistency. I am not messing around with it at all. Now I'm going to add my essential oil. And with the essential oils, we're just going to add 6 milliliters of the grapefruit essential oil. And I know this doesn't seem like much at all, but we don't want this to be a perfume. What we want this to be is a really nice smelling skin balm or a kind of a really heavy lotion almost. We don't want it to be a perfume. So we don't use that much of the essential oil for this particular project. So then you just stir and make sure all of your ingredients are fully mixed in. I can really smell that grapefruit essential oil and it smells so uplifting and effervescent and bright, and it really, well, it's making me hungry. Yum. I also can smell I can also smell that warm, beautiful beeswax note in there. It's giving it just a warm and balmy kind of base note. Pour steadily into your containers. And once you've got your containers filled up, it will take, depending on the ambient temperature of the room, anywhere between 2 to 6 hours for these to melt to harden up. And if you're in a really, really warm area, you know what? They might not harden up for a while. So you can put them in the refrigerator for 2 to 4 hours if you want them to harden up right away. I have a little bit left over, so I can really, if I want to, just kind of pour all the way to the top to make sure we're getting the best value for this Handmade Beauty Box kit. These are so cute. I can see giving them away as gifts for sure. So once that's done, go ahead and don't cap these quite yet. You're going to want to make sure that you are letting these sit still in a place that'll be undisturbed or putting them in the refrigerator. I did want to talk to you a little bit about white beeswax. White beeswax is another option if you're looking for a more neutral colored balm. White beeswax has been deodorized and has been bleached so that it's white instead of being that kind of more yellow, smoky smelling beeswax that we just used in this project. So if you don't love the smell of beeswax, you can always buy a deodorized white beeswax from brambleberry.com. In addition, I wanted to talk about one of the ingredients and really focus on that fractionated coconut oil. Fractionated coconut oil is something that coconut oil, when you see it and you're cooking with it, you'll notice it's solid at room temperature. It's great. You can just put it directly on your hands. A lot of people just use it in their hair. You can buy this in bulk at brambleberry.com for just using straight coconut oil. We love it in our house because it's so good for so many different skin things. Coconut oil is made up of a variety of different fatty acid chains. And when you melt coconut oil and spin it really fast, you can pull off some of the fractionation, meaning you can pull off the liquid parts of the oil. And that's what fractionated coconut oil is. It has all the goodness of coconut oil while remaining liquid for you for your crafting needs. And that's why we use it in this particular recipe. Courtney, do we have any other questions before I move on to some interesting kind of little tidbits about cleaning up?
We have two questions. One is about sweet almond oil and will it cause an allergic reaction?
Sweet almond oil. So sweet almond oil is a nut product, and someone that's watching, one of our live viewers wants to know, will it cause an allergic reaction? That is a fantastic question. Thank you for reminding me to cover that. So sweet almond oil, first of all, you may have heard about the water drought that's going on in California. I am expecting sweet almond oil prices to go up in the next 12 months. So if you use sweet almond oil in your crafting, you might want to stock up on as much as you're going to go through in the next 6 to 8 months to kind of hedge off against that. But yes, sweet almond oil is a concern for those people who are the most allergic to sweet almond oil or nuts. So for example, if you have a very mild nut allergy, most people don't notice anything. For example, sweet almond oil is one of the more old cosmetic ingredients that's been out there and used for really decades, hundreds of years. And it's just been in the last few years that people have started noticing that they are having some sort of maybe reaction to it. So if you are one of those people that has a really major nut allergy, talk to your doctor and see if they would recommend checking for ingredients labeling to see if there's any nut-based oils in there. And if you're one of those less than 1% of people out there that has that issue, then I would recommend using olive oil or another lightweight non-nut-based oil in place of the sweet almond oil in this particular recipe. But for 99.5% of the population, it's not going to affect you. But double check with your doctor just to be on the safe side if you are one of those people that experiences really bad nut allergies.
And what can you substitute for avocado butter?
What can you substitute for avocado butter? So the general rule when you're substituting products in any sort of lipstick or lotion making or balm type of recipe is that you want to substitute like for like, meaning if it's a liquid oil, you substitute a liquid oil for a liquid oil. If it's a butter, you substitute a butter for a butter. The only exception is, even though cocoa butter is called butter, you wouldn't want to substitute cocoa butter for avocado butter because they have such vastly different textures. Cocoa butter is hard, whereas avocado butter has such a nice feel. So you could do shea butter, mango butter, or even coffee butter in place of that avocado butter. I love the avocado butter because it has such a smooth, low melt point, whereas the shea butter is just a slightly higher melt point, also a little harder to glide onto the skin. You could, in theory, use coconut oil, the actual solid coconut oil, as well as the shea butter, mango butter, coffee butter, if you wanted to sub out the avocado butter. Any other questions?
I think just about cleanup.
Okay, great. So let's talk about cleanup. There's a couple ways to clean this particular nice, oily, waxy container out. And so what I like to do is just wipe out my entire container with paper towels and make sure it's as clean as possible. Then get super hot water and a really good grease-fighting detergent like Dawn, one of those, buy it at the grocery store, don't make it at home, really good grease-cutting dishwashing detergents, and use that with the super hot water to rinse this out, and you are totally good to go because most of that wax and most of that oil already ended up in the trash can because it was coating your paper towels. Now, this If you want to watch this again, we're going to be putting this up at handmadebeautybox.com on our blog as well as our YouTube channel. So be sure to look for us on YouTube. And if you are making this at home, please know that I watch our Instagram channel, I watch Twitter and our Facebook page for Handmade Beauty Box like a hawk, looking to see your happy faces when you're making this, looking to see your finished products, and looking to see your successes. It makes me so happy when I see you guys being successful with these projects that I've created. And I want to hear how you're doing. And I want us all to support each other too on our different social media stuff. So make sure that when you're posting, you're tagging your photos as hashtag HBB show and tell, because I don't want to miss any of your awesome stuff. And until next month, thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait to see you on our Facebook page. Thanks, guys. Happy crafting.